Alright guys, you're welcome to another class in DevOps from Zero to Hero series, and in this class we'll be going practical, right? And what we'll be doing is this is the continuous integration practical aspect, that's CI CD practical aspect, and we're working on the project. So what you need to do first is you go to repositories. From the repositories, you see TaskFlow, right? And remember, the previous class I explained, the previous video I made, I explained the what CI entails, what it means, and why startup use or practice the CI, right? It is very, very important. So please do make sure you watch the video. So in this part now, you go to this project. We have TaskFlow here, and then from TaskFlow you can actually start it so that you will see any updates I make in the video. So we'll be using this project um, in this sense. So this is more like a real project that you can add to your portfolio. It is a real project that you can actually add to your portfolio, even though it's minimal, but it has a very, very good user flow, and it is quite good, right? So what you need to do is you click it, and then you come here. So what the project is just about is the project name is TaskFlow. The project name is TaskFlow, and then it is more like a team management platform where, as a team, you get to assign tasks or responsibilities to team members, and we assign it according to the priority level. You understand? So it is more like Trello, right? It's more like Trello or Jira in this sense. You understand? So, but it is more like Trello. You understand? If you are familiar with Trello, Trello is also a task management platform, team task management platform that you can be able to give tasks to your team members, and then team members can move the task according to how they've done it. Probably if it is in progress, they'll move it to progress. If it is in done, they'll move it to done, or whichever. Right. So what we need to do is I've created this directories, this architecture, these folders. I've created it in the file. So because we'll be using this project also for Docker. Whenever we get to whenever we want to start learning Docker, right, we'll be using this project for it as well. So but for now, let's just use it for CI/CD. And this project is more like we're using Python language, and we're using React for the front end. So take for example, if in the team they're working on this project. Now, for example, they're working on this project. What you need to do is first, you know, you will go to the repository, and then what you need to do is you go to the repository, and then you can see, let me just take you through it. You go to the repository to clone the repository, and then you cd to it. That's, you go into it, you create the environment, you install some of the dependencies that we'll be looking at later on, and then you start it from your hand. You understand? That is, you start it locally from your hand. You understand? And then also you stick to the front end, you install the npm, and then you start it also locally. So from there you can be able to do your work and see if it's good. So please do ensure that do ensure that you check this document out. It is very, very important. As a DevOps engineer, you need to always make sure that you read documents, so because that will actually keep you in check, and it will keep you updated as to what it is doing. As to what the project is all about and what you are expected to do. All right. So without no further ado, let's just start it now. So what you do now is to actually clone it. You come here, you can see, you see HTTPS, SSH, GitHub CLI. We are using HTTPS in this sense. Then you click this um, clipboard icon, right? You click it. Once you click it, it will copy it, and then you come here. You come to your terminal in the home page. In your terminal, let me see what we have in the home page. Okay. All right. So what we now do is, what you do is you say git clone because you want to clone it. So what this command do is, it's actually clone this repository. This repository is in GitHub presently. What it will do is it will copy this repository to your local computer, to your laptop. You understand? So we have git clone, and then you copy the link. So it will clone it to your local computer. For example, if you see here, I have. Let me show you. Sorry, I have it here. It is not showing here presently. As you can see, it was not here before, but now it's showing here. So now the next thing is, let's see if it's there. Sorry, we have it here. So this is it here. We have TaskFlow project. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cd to it. We'll go into the file or the folder. Sorry, we'll go into the folder, and just a minute. Let me copy it. So let's just cd. So in the folder, we now have readme, we have back end, and then we have front end. So if in that team they've actually created on the project, and then probably they are working on it, for example, this is something that you will see, because you have the back end, you have the front end. In some cases, you have database. You understand? So this is where database is just where we keep more like the logic aspects, the data of every users or whichever. Now, in this sense, well, the next thing we're going to do, look at it according to the documentation, because it's very, very important. You stay inclined, or you always read the documentation. The first thing we're going to do now is we're going to run the back end. So to run the back end, you're going to cd to the back end, then Python, MVA, whatever. So let's just do it so I will not spend much time. Cd back end. So this is what we have in the back end, and then we're going to run this. Let's just quickly do it so that we'll not waste much time, because we still have the code to run. All right. All right, so it is done. Let's go to the next one. So the next thing we'll just do is we'll copy this. I copy this part. Copy this. That's pip install requirements. Copy it, because where it's going to how will I say it? It's going to actually install the requirements in this file. Right, let me show you the file. Just a minute. So I just open the folder so that we have just a minute. All right. All right. So this is what we have. This is the requirements, right? This is just the requirements. We have it here. So it's going to actually install this on the local computer. You understand? So that we'll be able to run the file or the project. Right? Let me just quickly do it so that we'll not have to waste a whole lot of time. But just watch how I am doing this. All right. Okay, copied it already. All right, it is now installed. So the next thing is we're going to start the backend. Okay, the backend is up, is up and running. Then you open another terminal, and then you go to let me just quickly do it. Just, next thing is just the front end, right? The front end. We'll save it to the front end and then we'll start some of the dependencies as well. So say okay, return it front end. We are here to start just minutes. So I'll take you through the projects and all. So first thing you do is you install the npm, right? Front end. Install the npm. We're going to open another terminal again. I think we need 3 terminals here. Projects, right? This, okay, so we need 3 terminals in this sense. So it is installing some things here. As you see, and then after it is done installing, we're now going to start it. We're going to say npm start. Then it will be on this local host, this port 3000. Let's wait for it to install. Just alright, it's done installing. It's done installing now, and the next thing we're going to do now is just say npm start. Npm starts. So you start now, and we just finish for it to go. Okay, saying something is already running on. Okay, it's from my end, right? Something is already running on those ports, port 3000. You understand? So it's asking me, would you like to run the app on another port? You understand? So it can be like port 3. You can give me random numbers, or you can give me, yes, you can give me other numbers, right? Like port 3001 or port 3002, whichever. Let me just say yes. Just press Y if it's showing from your hand. So next thing is you will see it is starting. Okay, all right. So it gave me port 3001 in this sense. So if that's the case from your hand, there's no problem. All right. So you can see we have, oh, I still have one that is signed in, but from your hand, right, this is what you should see. From your hand, this is what you should see. You see welcome back. That's the project. Look at the interface. You have TaskFlow, team tax management. It's going to show you your username and then password, right? But since you don't have it, you can create one yourself. This is just the normal thing. This is just normal interaction with web application. You understand? So for example, I gave it an admin. Let me just give it, you give it your name, you put your name, your username, a random Gmail, and then any password you can remember. From my hand, I put admin123. You understand? So I still have it. Then I have admin123. Just a minute. Admin, I use admin as my username and then password admin123. And then okay, maybe I have to create then. Let me just create again. Admin. Okay, let me just put my name instead. Just So admin, and then email. Let me just put a random email. It is not something serious. Gmail.com. And then for my password, you can say admin 123. Right. So let's see. All right. So it's created. So it has created, and then once it creates, it will redirect you to this page. It will redirect you to this login page, and then you can log in with it. You put your username and then the password you used. In this sense, I put admin123, and then you will see it now that we are in. You understand? We are in now. You can see my name, Jesutofumi Adeboye, and then you can see the sign out. If I want to sign out, I can sign out from here. This is more like a task dashboard, like a task flow. You understand? So for the user flow, what you do is you can click on new task, and then what's the title of this? Let's just give it the title of what can I give? What can I give? What can I give? What can I give? I'm thinking of one. Okay, let's say DevOps integration. And I'm just giving it a random name, right? So after the DevOps team will give us done so far. All right. Oh, I made a mistake. Sorry. Let me just give it DevOps. No, I'm coming. And then to-do list, for example, let's just put it our to-do list, and then the prioritization or the priority will put to high. You understand? And it is assigned to, you can see this is just what they do in a startup. You understand? For example, if you want to designate any task to someone, or you want to give anybody any task, right? So you can assign to me. Then you can see it here. To showing here, you can see integrate CI/CD into TaskFlow projects, and then to-do list, and then the prioritization. The priority is put to high. And once you are done, you can put it here, change the status to done, and then save it. So you see that if you click on done, you still see it here. But if you click on progress, you will not see it. If you click on to-do list, you will not see it. You understand? But if you click on done, you will see it, because you have moved the status to done. You understand? So this is just a project. This is just a very minimal project in this sense. So now, if in this project now you are asked to, to do the CI/CD using GitHub Actions in this sense, what we are going to do first, what I'm going to do first is we are going to try to understand the project. You understand, as a whole. That is why reading the documentation, it is very, very important, because you need to understand it properly. You understand? Before you start anything, you need to understand the project, because you can't start working on a project you don't fully understand. That is the first thing. Now, the second thing is, you now begin, you begin with, will I say, the CI/CD implementation. And once, once you start doing it, it will make the whole thing very, very easy. You understand? So now, to begin with the CI/CD implementation, what we are going to do is, well, CI/CD is always, if you look at this folder, okay, that's the reason why we created three terminals for it. You see, the first terminal we use it for the backend server, then the front end to run the npm start, and then the last terminal we'll be using it for to create the workflows. You understand? So to actually create the workflows, you can see this is, if you write ls, you understand, you see this is the old directory we have readme, we have backend and front end. You understand? And then coming here now, if you type ls hyphen la, you understand, it's going to list it in rows. You understand? So we have this, we have dots. These are anything that comes with dot git, right? You will not be able to see it here. You understand? You will not be able to see it in the folder, in the main folder, but it comes with, the project itself. You understand? Now, what we do now is, let me just clear it. The first thing you do now is you create a directory for .git, in this sense, .github, I mean. So to create directory, we have mkdir, right? That's make directory .git github, .github, and then you click enter. So if you are to look at it, ls-la, you see we have .github here. But if you type just ls, you see that it's only bringing a visible folder for us. You understand? It's only bringing a visible folder for us. But if you type ls hyphen la, right, it's going to bring both visible and invisible folder for us, and then in a row, it will arrange them properly. You understand? So now we have .github folder here. So we'll now cd to .github folder. Since you can't see it, but we know we've created it, right? We cd to .github folder. As you can see, it is now in .github folder. Then the next thing we're going to do now is we create another folder in .github folder, because that is, to actually create a proper CI, a proper GitHub action. You understand? A proper GitHub action, to create a proper CI/CD using GitHub action, right? It should be in the directory of .github/workflow. That's GitHub folder, and then we have workflows, then the file inside. So we have make dir workflows. You understand? So we are creating this folder, we are creating workflows folder inside this .github folder as well. So if you look at it, we have workflows. Then inside workflows, you cd to workflows again, cd to workflows. Oh, sorry. Workflows, and then what we now do is we are going to create a .yaml file. So let's give it the name of ci.yaml, right? You can write it like this, or you can write it like this, YAML, but I prefer to write it like this. That's this part, YAML. Oh, sorry. We are to create file. To create file, we use the touch command. Touch um ci.yaml, and then it creates it. So let me just click it. All right. So if you now look at the folder here, you see that we're having a new thing here. Um we're having GitHub workflows, then .yaml file. You understand? And one thing about um tech one thing about tech generally nowadays is that uh you know the invention of AI, with the coming of AI, it has made work easy for everybody. You understand? Because before, you can spend like 50 minutes, or you can spend like 2 days trying to write up a configurations or trying to write a code. You can spend like 2 days, one day trying to rack your head and write up a code. But with the invention of AI, right, it has made it very, very, very easy. You understand? For us, that I can just go to um Google and just type, write write a .ci workflow for me. Write a ci.yaml workflow for me. I'm using it for GitHub Actions, for whichever. I'll just type a prompt and then to generate it. You understand? Which we can do it. But for now, we'll not be doing it because we need to understand. It is very, very important, right? We need to understand how these things works, because it will not be a good it will not be a good thing if you are working and then you don't even, or if you are writing the code, or if you are copying the code and you don't even understand the code at all. It will not be a good thing at all. You understand? So now, what we are going to do now is we are going to write the YAML file. We are going to write the YAML file, and one thing about YAML file is, you know the arrangement of these words, the arrangement of these figures, the arrangement of these words should be well arranged. You understand? If you don't arrange it properly, it will start popping up errors, and then you'll be having serious problem. You understand? So, all right. So to start now, the first thing you write is name. You give it a name. In this sense, so the name would be, you get sorry. Let me check again. All right. So you give it a name. So what will the name be? Let us give it a name of, let's say, TaskFlow, TaskFlow CI pipeline. You understand? Let's give the name of TaskFlow CI pipeline, and then don't mind the errors. Just write it, because some of the configurations I made earlier on are giving me some kind of problem, which I will look into it later on. All right. So now, this is the first thing we have here. So what is just what we have here is just, this is more like the name of the pipeline. We are giving it the name of the pipeline. So, it is what shows up in your GitHub Actions tab. You understand? So when you visit your repository, and then you can call it anything. You can call it anything you want. For example, if you come here, look at it. To visit the GitHub action, you just come here to this action. You understand? And then it will show in this part. But since we have not started running anything, or we have not started pushing anything, we will not be able to see it here. So after that, the next thing is just, we're now going to we are going to write this file. We're going to write this. All right. So we have the next one we're going to write is on, and I have it here on. So I have this what is it called? These plugins that helps me to actually complete some of the code, so that it saves a whole lot of time for me. and I will make a videos on some of the plugins that can actually help your work very very easy. You understand? So that you don't have to start racking your brains, to type. So what I just need to do is I'll um I'll click the tab. I'll press the tab button. But here I need later on we can actually add another what's it called, another branch to it. You understand? So we can add another branch to it because we'll be using this project more often later in this course. So the next thing is just, okay, let me explain this file to you before I go. So this on, before we move forward, this on means, when should this pipeline run? You understand? When should this pipeline run? So it should run under, you know, the pull. It should run on push and pull request. So push, um, if anybody or any developer in the team, right, if they push to GitHub, you understand? So let's say for example they say git add, git commit, and then they push it, right? It will automatically trigger this CI. You understand? It automatically trigger this GitHub Actions, and then it will run. You understand? It will trigger the pipeline, and then it will run on its own. And same as this, right? So like I said before, the run pipeline is whenever anybody push the code to either the main branch or the develop branch, which we'll add later on as we proceed in this course. So if we push it, the pipeline will automatically start in this sense. And then if anybody also, whenever someone tries to open a pull request, you understand, that targets the main branch, or the develop branch, then it will also trigger. You understand? That's why we had the pull requests to it. All right, so let's move forward. The next thing we write is job, right? Oh, sorry. The next thing we write is job. Okay, so we have the jobs. Now, for the jobs, you can see it has actually suggested a whole lot for me. You understand? It has suggested a whole lot for me, but for the sake of this class, we'll just be writing it one after the other. And as I'm writing it, I'll be explaining to you. So, just a minute. What the jobs means, right? The jobs is more like a task. You understand? The job is more like the task, like all the tasks that will be defined in the pipeline. You understand? All the tasks that is expected in the that is expected to run in the pipeline. So that is what it means. So then, just a minute. So what I will do is I will actually write out the code, and then as I'm writing it little by little, I will be explaining so that we'll understand it properly. Just make sure that you are paying a close attention. Just make sure you are paying attention to what I'm doing. So let me start. Okay, so we're going to give the first job. Let's give the name. Let's just comment it out. So job one, right? So the first job will be backend. You understand? First job will be backend, because this is actually very very important, so that you will not mix up the code you are doing, because it is very 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 important in this sense. You understand? So let's say install rinse and test, right? Yeah. So now the first thing we'll now do under this job is just type. We've commented this out. We've commented this out, and then if you look at it under jobs, you come here and then you type your end, back end, right? Under back end, you will have the name. We have the name. So we'll give it the name of backend. Yeah, backend tests. Let's give it backend tests. Yeah, and then it will run on Ubuntu. Yes, it will run on Ubuntu, the latest Ubuntu runner. And yeah, let me just explain this because I'm trying to be careful here. I don't want to make mistakes. So what is happening here is the backend is just the name, or more like the ID of this job, the first job here, the job that we created here is just the backend. You know, the first job we created is the backend. So what is expected in the CI to run is just under the jobs, right? To be having the backend because are we creating, I think 2 to 3 jobs. You understand? So we have the first job is the backend, right? And then it will run on the Ubuntu latest. You understand? To run on the Ubuntu latest. And the next thing I'll just do is I will actually put the directory. You understand? The directory that was the backend folder, which is in the main, which is in the default. You understand? It's in the default folder. So let me just add it. Just a minute. Okay. So next thing I will do is we have defaults. So the default will run under the working directory here is in the main folder, that's /backend. So I will show you here. So this is it. If you look at the main, if you look at the main folder here, if you look at it here, we're in the GitHub workflows before, but if you look at the main folder, we have the backend. You understand? So, and we added the workflows in the root folder. You understand? So here, let me show you here. So we have the root folder. This is the root folder. That's /backend. You understand? And then we now proceed to the steps. So the steps is more like the steps are just more like what should happen, in the jobs. You understand? So for example, right, there are the individual steps that will run one after the other inside the job. You understand? And if any steps fail, if any steps fail, then the job will stop. You understand? If any step fail, then the job will stop. So let me just write it so that we have steps. As you can see, it is suggesting for me steps. Then under the steps we have the checkout code. Yes, it's suggesting for me as well. Then you type this. You have to be careful. Checkout code, and then it uses actions checkout before. Yeah, okay, V2. No, it should be V4. I don't want V2. Then what it means is, what this line of code means is, it will actually download the this will actually download the it's how will I say it? This will download the repository code, you understand, into the GitHub runner machine. You understand? It will download the GitHub repository code into the GitHub runner machine, and then without these steps, right, the machine will have no idea about the project, or what the project looks like. You understand? So, and the checkout, this code action slash checkout at before is the official GitHub Actions that handle this kind of work. You understand? So that's it. So let's just go to the next one. Let me just So the next one is, I will just write the name. We have it here. So it will be just a minute. So it will be name. Yeah. So the name will be, yeah, it is giving good suggestions here. But I need this exact version. And then it is suggesting this. Yeah, I think I'll go for this. Just write it as I'm writing it so that you'll not be making some unnecessary mistakes. Okay. Just a minute. Okay. I don't even want to make mistakes, because any slightest mistakes will cause well, I can even make mistakes so that we'll debug it together. That's not a problem. Then cache dependency. Parts. That was backend text. Okay. Okay. All right. So what this lines of code means, right, is it actually installs this version of Python. That's Python 3.11 on the runner machine. You understand? It installs it on the runner machine, and then this code cache pip. The pip is, it saves the package. You understand? It saves the package so that the next runner machine will be faster. So any runner, if sorry, I'm making a mistake here. So it saved the downloaded package. Anything that it installs here, it saves the downloaded package, so that any next run that we'll be having, it will be much faster. You understand? So it saves the downloadable and the downloaded package. And then for this line of code here is, it tells us to actually watch the requirements.txt to know when to actually refresh the cache. For example, if you look at the requirement.txt, you see what we have here, like I've shown you before. So if by any example we change any version, or we change anything here, you understand, what it will do is, what this line of code will do is, it will watch it closely. It will watch this requirement.txt, and then it's, to know when to refresh it, so that it can be able to update to the latest version that we've written in this code. You understand, that we've written here. So let's just save this for now. So we are proceeding, we are pushing, we are moving forward little by little. So the next one we'll do is we still have some to write name. Yeah. The next one we'll do is we are going to install the backend dependency, and then under the steps as well, we're going to install the backend dependency, then put backend dependency, and then for the backend dependency is just to run the pip. Yep. Let me just put it like this here. No, I just need the just a minute. I don't want to make a mistake here. I need just one. It needs to be on the same line with this. Alright. Okay. So what this part does is, what it does is it will actually install all the Python packages. You understand? To install all the Python packages that is listed in the requirement txt. Here, you can see these are the Python packages. We have fast API, UVCon, all these parts, right? To install every packages that we have here. So, okay, just a minute. I'm making some mistakes here. All right. So let's move to the next one. The next one is just we're going to try and run the backend tests, with PyTest. You understand? So it's still under this. As you can see we have steps, a straight line. Then you see that it is well arranged because we don't want to make any mistakes here. Any indentation mistakes or any arrangement mistakes will cause us to be having serious error. You understand? So as you can see, it is well aligned. You understand? So the next one is name. So what I want now is we are going to run the backend test with PyTest. You understand? So let me just write it: run backend tests PyTest here, and then to run it, we have PyTest just a minute. Okay, PyTest okay, yeah, I think this, let me check the code. Okay, Python. All right, so just a minute. Okay, then env environment, I'll be giving it using the database URL in this sense. And to get the database URL, you can see it is somewhere here. If you check the documentation properly, you can see database URL somewhere here. So what we're going to do is just copy it. Just copy it. Right. Yep. I think I'm right. Yep. Then you paste it. Oh, I wrote VPN. I was just wondering why is it making errors here? So we have database URL under this, and then the next thing I'm going to do is we have the Python parts there. Yeah, Python part is everything. Okay. So what this part means, what this lines of code means is, we started writing it from here. What this lines of code means is, where is it? I gave it a name that, you should actually run the background test with PyTest. And then to run the background test with PyTest, right, we'll be using it, we call this verbose, right? And this make sure that it shows each name it shows each name as it runs. You understand? The more you add hyphen to this v, the more detailed it will be. You understand? And then we have this as well. So this kind of code hyphen tb hyphen short, right, means, is it tb shorts? Just a mistake. I think I made a mistake. It should be equals to. Thank God I checked. Equals to. Let me see. Alright. To be equals to shorts, not to be short. Alright. So what to do here is, it means that it will actually show, it will show a short error message. Any error messages, it will show with short forms if the test decides to fail. You understand? If the test fail, it shows the wrong form, and then the database URL in this sense, as you can see, it tells the app, to use a test database, and they're not the real one. As you can see, we copy the URL to this part, and then the Python part in this sense tells the Python to actually look for the application module starting from the current folder. You understand? Starting from the current folder. So in this sense, it makes it to fix the module named app error. You understand? So let's just continue. We're almost done. So for the sake of time, let me just quickly write it, and then I will explain it one after the other, so that I'm not wasting time. You know what? I will pause the video and then I'll quickly write it because of time, and then I will explain it one after the other. Let me just continue writing it. There's no need to pause the video. Just write it as I am also writing it. Okay. So the next thing is we are just going to upload Let me see, I don't want to make mistakes. Upload tests. Package artifact. I want this to video. and then just a minute. Let's give it again. Well, and the parts. I want the parts again. No, parts should be. Okay, let me see. Let me see the parts. Okay, here's the parts. Database box. Okay. So the parts of the backend exactly slash database, and then is it? Should be tests. Command retention. Okay, you know what, guys? Let me just pause it and quickly finish it up so that I will not bore you with this video. But as I'm done with this, I'll quickly explain it. Alright. Alright, so I'm done writing the code. I think I spent about 7 minutes, if not more. Alright. So what this code means, where do I stop? I think I stopped. Where is it? Here. Yeah. So what this line of code, what it means is, it only runs. I want it to only run this part. I want it to only run if the test failed. If the test failed, I want this to actually run. And then what it will do is it will actually save the database file so that when you download it from GitHub and then you inspect it, you will know what went wrong. You understand? And then the retention days, right? I kept it for 3 days. You understand? I kept the retention days for 3 days. So it will keep the file for 3 days, and then after 3 days it will automatically delete it. And then for the front end, right, you can see from the front end, I gave it the name as well, same ideas as the first one here. I gave the name of front end tests because we're using now Node.js for the front end, and then the runner as well. We are using Ubuntu latest. Then all these commands are just all command in these jobs will automatically run inside the front end folder. You understand? So, and then this checkout is it will download the code. You understand? As I've explained before, to download the code into this runner machine so that each jobs get its own machines. So each jobs will actually need its own checkout in this sense, this one. And then we have set up Node.js. So what it does is, this line of code, what it does is it actually installs the Node.js version 20 on the runner, and then the cache will actually download npm packages to actually speed up the future runs, whichever runs we'll be doing in the future, to speed it up. And then we have this part as well. Where is it? Okay, this part where this cache dependency part will actually watch the package log JSON, package log.json, and then to know when to refresh the cache as well. And then the next thing is just to install the front end dependency. To install the front end dependency, that's in this sense, it will install all the JavaScript packages from the pack JSON, the npm CI, and others, right? But you know, but stricter. You understand? In this sense, it is more stricter because you know it uses the exact version in the package log.json to ensure more consistency. You understand? And then the next one is just to, how would I say it, to actually run the jest test. You understand? To run the jest test so that all the components in the, it runs all the components in the um, component test.js. Let me show you. Where is it? Okay. I'm trying to show you here. You can see it. It's run. Okay, this is the front end. It runs all the tests. Okay, it's here. It runs all the tests here. This the code. So it's not necessarily you don't necessarily need to understand this all this, right? That's not even your problem. You understand? You don't need to understand it at all. So the next thing is just to build it to build the front to build the front end. Okay, this is it. To build the front end, and then it will actually compile the React app. You understand? It will compile the React app into something that is more production ready file. You understand? Then from there, what do we have again? Okay, this. Let me explain this part. This will actually help to save the compiled front end file to GitHub. You understand? So that you can be able to download them, and then it stays available. It stays available for 7 days. And the reason why I have to do this is because this is useful. If you want to grab the build file and then deploy them anywhere, it is quite very, very useful. And then the next thing is just a summary. This is the job 3 that I want it to run, and what I want is just the job will actually wait for job 1 and job 2 to finish. The first job and the second job I created at the back end and the front end, I will wait for them to finish before it starts. You understand? So they must finish before it starts, and then I have this. The job will always returns if there are other jobs fail. You understand? So if other jobs fail, the jobs will always return so that you can get a summary report. You understand? That is the main reason why I had to do this. And then another thing is I added that it should print the reports. You understand? It should print the report to the console so that it will show the result of each jobs in this sense. You understand? To show the result of each job, and then from there we can see what is happening, either it passes or it fails, right? So this is just everything. But to actually make it easier, you will see the file, or you see these lines of code in the GitHub action. In the GitHub repo, so that you can copy it from there and then you can paste it. Just understand, what they do. Understand the function, understand their job. You understand? So that's it. Let's just try and see if it runs. So on any push request, take for example, let me see where we are. AWD backend. Okay. Okay. So on any push request, what will happen is it will automatically trigger the CI to start. Okay. So let me just try and see. Okay, let's see what we have. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to say git add, and then git commit the message. Oh, sorry, I'm saying CI cd, no, TaskFlow CI/CD. Then we have git push. Yes, git push. So once it's push, on every push it will trigger. So once we come here now, we come to this code to see it. You can see it is already showing here TaskFlow CI/CD pending. It already starts to trigger. So you can see you come to this action here, and then you can see TaskFlow CI/CD. It is now trying to show. It is trying to run, and let's see it will work. It is okay. Wow, it is okay for it to actually fail in the front in the first attempt, but if it passes, then it is a good thing. You understand? But if it fails, right, it gives us, the opportunity to debug and to check what is wrong, so that we can see what's going on. You can see the front end passed. So let's see what is happening in the back end. It is still working. Okay, let's see front end first. Look at the faces now. Pass through the, set up the job, check out, set up the Node.js, install the front end dependency, run the front end test with jest, build the front end, upload the build artifact, and passed. Right, so let's see the back end as well. Just a minute. It's still trying to. Let's just give it some seconds or some minutes left. But it should not take too long. It should not take too long at all. We have it here. Okay. Let's see what we have here. It's still running. Let me just pause the video. So once it is done, I will play the video back so that the video will not be unnecessarily long. So I'm trying to. Okay, I cancelled the workflow. Let me try and run the job. I cancelled the job. Let me try and run it. So I don't know why it is taking time to run. Let me see. Oh, okay. I think I made a mistake in the configuration. Let me cancel it first, because it should not take this time. It should not take this long to run. Yeah, it should not take this long. So just a minute. Let me see. So I found it. The mistake I did was I didn't add. You see, the runner machine here didn't pick. The runner machine here didn't pick, so it should be Ubuntu latest. Yeah. So I think that was a mistake, because I was just wondering. I mean, it should not take this long to run. So let's just try it again. Git add git commit message runner added. Let's push. Let's see what we have here. It's gonna push it. So it's going to run again, and this time it should actually go. It should go this time. Let's see. All right. You see, it is successful. Yes, it is successful. That's good. So the mistake I did was the runner, the runner machine. I only added the name, not the version here. So I I had to add the version which is latest. So it means the latest Ubuntu version. You understand? So that was what happened. And then you can see we have the we have the CI completed. We have the CI completed. So if any developer in the team pushes or have any pull requests, you understand, it will automatically trigger. You understand? So let's take, for example, let me just adjust something. Let's take, for example, I'm the developer, and then I just want to adjust a document here. For example, I want to remove this. I want to remove this configuration, and then I saved it. Then I come here as a developer. I come to the terminal, and then I said git add git commit. I committed it. Documentations. I added the random and I added the random message, and then I said git push. You understand? So after I pushed it, on every push, it will automatically trigger. You see, if I come to this GitHub action now, you see another one that is there again. You see, this is another one that is automatically triggers automatically. So if any developers try to push to the GitHub repository, automatically what the CI will do is it will check out the code. It will check if the code is good, if every code there is actually good, and then it will run it. If the code is good and everything is working fine, then it will pass it. If you pass it, it will be successful. Or if there is an error, maybe syntax error, maybe indentation, error, it will fail it. You understand? Because it's not pass it, and then it will notify the developer that something is happening. You can see here it passed. You understand? So that is that about GitHub Actions CI. We have worked on GitHub Actions, so you can actually we're also going to work on we're also going to work on the CD using Argo CD. So basically we'll be using this project and some projects that I will try to create. We'll be using this project and some of the projects I will try to create to work on other things later on in this course. So this is the end of this video. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel, and if you have any question or anything that you don't understand, please try and drop it in the comment section, and I will definitely reply you. I will definitely respond to it. So thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.